No one warns you about the middle of recovery. The beginning, strangely, has some kind of clarity. You're at your worst, you find this approach, you get the first few wins, and every win is dramatic. It feels amazing. It feels like a rocket ship taking off. First week back at work, first dinner out in a year, first road trip. People around you are cheering you on, they get really excited. And then you enter this strange stretch. You're 60, 70, maybe 80% back. You're starting to work again. You're starting to socialize. You're driving, starting to get out and about into the world. You pass for a healthy person in public. And the dramatic wins, they stop coming. The momentum feels like it's starting to slow down. And there's this illusion that you're not gaining as much traction as you used to. The needle isn't moving as fast. And some days you feel weirdly numb, almost flat, and a quiet voice starts asking, is this it? Did it stop working? Is this as good as it gets? A life that works on paper and still gets planned around setbacks. We call it the messy middle. Every single person who recovers goes through it. I went through it. All the coaches on our team gone through it. I've helped thousands of people overcome this, and they've all gone through this exact same thing, and almost nobody talks about it. And today, I'm gonna show you what's actually happening in your body during this strange stretch part of recovery, because I promise you, it's the opposite of what that voice inside is telling you. So if that's you, if you made progress in the past, and you feel like you're hitting the sticking point or things have slowed down, the rocket ship, it kind of flatlined, keep on watching. I lived a long, messy middle myself. After being bedridden for several months, after the first big gains, there was a stretch where I honestly wondered if I'd traded this dramatic illness for some kind of permanent gray zone. Some of the months blended together. It didn't feel like I was actually gaining that much capacity. Not until I took a step back and looked at certain areas of my life where I was making progress. But for a time being, the months didn't feel too different from the previous months. Sometimes 6 months went by and I was doing relatively the same things in life. Maybe there was some increase in capacity, but it was so different compared to me being in the hospital and finding out what was going on and going from bedridden to wheelchair to walker to leaving the hospital all in the span of a month. That's like a rocket ship taking off, right? And it wasn't always like that. And I now know that stretch was doing more for my recovery than that dramatic phase ever did. And with a couple thousand people who have gone through this recovery process, I can tell you the middle is where recoveries are actually won or lost. And the reason has nothing to do with the body failing there. It has nothing to do with your body's ability to continue recalibrating itself and continue making progress. People misread the middle, and that's what can cause them to get stuck. It's because they feel like they're not making progress. They feel like they're failing, and that is what can dim that flame, that can dim that momentum of recovery that carry them through the most difficult time. So here's the plan. First, we're going to cover why the middle feels so uncomfortable and why that discomfort fools even the smartest of people in recovery, people who are absolutely crushing it. This can throw them for a tailspin. Then we're going to talk about what's physically happening under the surface when nothing seems to be happening, and then the 4 rules for navigating this stretch. And if you're early in recovery, save this video. You're going to want this in a handful of months. You're definitely going to need to know this information in order to get through that messy middle. Here's 3 reasons why the middle of recovery messes with your head and your mindset. Reason number 1, the drama is gone. And your brain uses drama to measure change. So going from housebound or bedridden or couchbound to working again or getting out into the world to driving to expanding your world, that's like a headline. Going from surviving the week to having some energy actually left over on Friday or Saturday night, that's not as dramatic as the beginning, even though it's the same size of gain. So progress didn't stop, it just stopped being cinematic and stopped being so epic every single week. Reason number 2 is the numbness. And this one scares people. So let's name it properly. You spent months or years marinating in this adrenaline, in this hypersensitive state. It's the high highs of terror and fear and thinking the world's going to end. And honestly, the highs of hope as well. Getting excited about new methods, new treatments, new progress you made in a week, right? It's that exciting feeling. When a nervous system finally comes down from that, the more calm things are, that can actually feel like flatness compared to what you're used to. It's like someone turned the color down, someone turned the volume of life down, and people can feel very uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. And they start to think, hey, now I feel nothing, right? This is different. This is unfamiliar. And unfamiliar, it's probably wrong. It's not what I'm used to. Flat is what calming down feels like from the inside. It's the sound of the alarm system finally dimming down, finally idling. It passes and feelings return with more range than before, but the numbness is a phase of healing. It's not a departure from healing. It doesn't mean healing is not happening. It is happening. It's just a different kind of healing that you're not used to. And reason number 3 is identity limbo. You're no longer the sick person, fully sick. Your coworkers didn't even know. They don't know what's going on. A lot of family doesn't even know what's going on. But you're also not the recovered person yet either, because the fear you have, it still kind of controls your calendar. Your capacity still controls your calendar. You still have to say no to things. So the sick identity, as heavy as it was, at least it was clear. But the middle asks you to live life without a clear story for a while. Are you sick? Are you healthy? What's going on? And humans hate that. And people around you really don't understand. And that can be really frustrating, having to explain that you're not actually 100% and you can't fully take part in the world. Even if you're out and about, hanging out with friends, going out on family trips, you're still doing this capacity math, wondering if you can actually handle this or if you should dial things back in real time as you're there. Now, what's going on under the surface while it feels like almost nothing is happening, when it feels like you're in this plateau and you're actually not making as much progress as you were in the beginning? Well, just think about strength training. And I know this firsthand. I used to be a personal trainer, so exercise science is something that is very similar to recovery. Obviously, you're not in the gym, lifting, running, all of that stuff, but when it comes to strength training, the first few times you lift, the visible gains are very obvious, and then they slow down, looks and feels like a plateau. But ask any coach what's happening during that plateau. It's the deeper adaptation. It's tendons thickening. It's patterns being solidified in your nervous system. It's the movements, the form getting better, and the base is being built that makes the next visible jump possible. Your nervous system does the exact same thing. The early phase turns the alarm volume down. The hypersensitivity, that all starts to come down. And that change is very noticeable and very dramatic. The middle phase is more so stabilization. It's your system relearning at a very deep subconscious automatic level. And it's learning that having energy during the week, that's normal. That a full Saturday is normal. That being busy and alive is normal again. And that kind of learning, it's invisible by design. Boring is what healing feels like from the inside. Write that down somewhere and really let that soak in. And the middle, being unremarkable, is the evidence that it's working. This is a phase that every single person goes through. I went through it. I questioned it many times, but I kept going. I figured, hey, if these principles and these strategies, if I've actually made progress up to this point, then I'll just continue that cycle. Because if it made me a little bit better, it can make me a lot better. And so there's 4 strategies that I want you to remember for this stretch. This messy middle where it feels like progress is not happening, or it's very, very slow and it's moving like a snail. Strategy number 1, change your measuring stick. Day-to-day comparison is completely useless in the middle. The changes are too small for it. Even measuring on a week-to-week basis doesn't make any sense to do that. You're not going to see too many drastic changes. So zoom out. Once a month, compare yourself to where you were 3 months ago. And write it down, because your memory is going to lie to you. It's going to make things up. It's going to block things out to try to prove that, hey, you're still sick. That's a nervous system trying to keep you in a hypersensitive state. Are work weeks costing you less? Do adjustment periods end quicker? Are they less intense? Do you have less fear making decisions? Did you say yes to something this month that you would have declined 3 months ago? That's the real scoreboard. And that's something you do want to write down and do pay attention to. Strategy number 2 is keep the expansions going. The middle tempts you to coast and go in cruise control, to just maintain. And that is totally fine to do that every now and then. It's okay to do that for several weeks at a time. But stabilization still needs some kind of gentle challenge to build around. So keep taking the small next steps, one at a time. And if you saw my recovery ceilings video, this is where that lily pad lives. That lily pad analogy that I talk about in this video up here, go watch that, because that's really where we dive deep into this concept. Strategy number 3 is let the what if storms pass through. In the middle, the fear gets quieter, but it's sneakier. It's always lingering in the background. You're going to start asking yourself things like, what if this is my ceiling? What if it comes back? What if I'm just telling myself I'm better, but I'm actually not even getting better at all? So treat that storm just like the weather and literally name it. The middle phase, the what ifs, it's right on time. This is supposed to happen. And let it pass without judging it. Okay, just observe it. The storm always shows up when the system is in transition, right? That's when your nervous system is recalibrating itself. It's a sign of the middle messy part of recovery, but not a message that, hey, the journey is over and this is as good as it gets. Strategy number 4 is don't go through the middle alone. This is probably the stretch because the crisis support is gone. Your family, your friends think you're healthy again, they think you're good to go, but the celebration isn't here yet, right? We haven't quite crossed that finish line. And this is exactly where community and having people to lean on matter most. Not for emergencies, but more so somebody who can actually see and understand what you're going through and actually call out the fact that, hey, you are better than you were 3 months ago. Look at this. Look at all the things you did here. Look at all the things you did there. Look at where you are compared to 6 months ago, remember? I can't tell you how many times I've had someone come to us or my team and had these exact same questions of, am I actually getting better? Is this really working? What am I doing wrong? Why is recovery happening so slow? How can I speed it up? These are the exact questions people ask, and that's how we know they're in this messy middle of recovery. Now, if everything I'm saying in this video is resonating with you right now and you're going, wait, that's exactly what I'm going through. That's exactly the type of questions I ask myself. This is exactly my experience right now. If you're in the messy middle right now, just comment down below middle and also add how long you've been in it. I want you to see how many others are in this exact stretch with you right here, right now, reading the same exact comments, asking themselves the same questions. This is a very common thing in recovery. So comment down below, literally just say, I'm in the middle if you're actually experiencing these things. Now, here's the thing about the middle that I want you to take away from this video. This is the most important part. The middle is where most people call it a day. They say, hey, I'm good here. From here, I'd be happy if I just stayed here. I don't need to expand anymore. I don't need to get any better because I'm just comfortable enough. I fought tooth and nail. I made it out of the trenches and I don't want to risk any more. I don't want to risk any more setbacks and continue expanding. They don't quit in the crisis. The crisis has adrenaline running through your veins every single moment you are in the trenches. A lot of people, they just stop trying. They stop giving it their all in that gray area when it's quiet and slow and they don't have everybody cheering them on. They don't have everybody paying so much attention to them every single day like your support system, right? They think you're normal and that can be demotivating. So they conclude that it stopped working and they go back to old habits. Old patterns can start to come up. Just remember that the middle is your nervous system doing the slow, deep, unglamorous work of making normal feel normal again. And so if you're in it right now, in the flat, slow, unremarkable stretch, unexciting, kind of boring part of recovery, where there's no fireworks every week, there's no massive breakthroughs every single week, just remember you're not off track. You are exactly on the right track. And this is what the track looks like in this phase of recovery. And I can promise you, I guarantee you, once you start introducing even more activity back into your life again, it gets really exciting. That excitement comes back times 10. It's going to be even more exciting than the beginning phases of recovery. I can promise you that because I've seen it thousands of times and I also experienced it myself. So just to recap, the middle feels hard for 3 reasons. 1, the drama is gone. There's no fireworks every single week. And then there's the numbness of coming down from all of this adrenaline. And then there's this identity limbo. Under the surface, it's actually stabilization. It's a deep recalibration of your nervous system that makes recovery stick. So stick through these times and keep on going, keep on implementing the things you've been doing to get you to this stage. And remember, just zoom out, measure month to month, not week to week, not day to day. Just remember that progress is happening below the surface. Now, if you're not sure whether you're in the messy middle or you're stuck at a recovery ceiling, or if you really do feel like you're in a plateau, because those can feel similar, I'm going to leave a link down below. You can take a free assessment, which is going to tell you what's happening in your body. You can hop on a call with our team if you are a good fit, and we can help identify your roadblocks and your weak points so that way we could solve it. And ultimately, you can go from surviving to thriving. The link is down in the description. Comment down below as well your biggest takeaways from this video, if it resonated with you. And look at the other comments down below to see all of the other people who are in this exact same scenario. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Always remember that you are a thriver and you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.
I would say that CFS recovery is absolutely the real deal.
I actually felt like somebody had an answer, like somebody explained what was going on, and it all clicked.